Hello.
Well, thank you, Kofi. And for all those who have spoken before me, I want to thank them also. My name is Architect Patrick Eliku. I'm also a life coach and a new era business coach. So when I talk about these things, I have to look deep and come out with something quite interesting. Now, one of the things you always pick up, first of all, there is no better investment on earth than earth. You have to note that there is no better investment on earth than earth itself. Then when we talk of real estate, there's also another saying which states that real estate is an imperishable asset, ever increasing in value. It is the most solid security that human ingenuity has devised. It is the basis of all security, about the only indestructible security. Now, post COVID-19, whatever we all call it, everything in life is about perception. You have a glass, it's either you see it half empty or half full. Your perception is what determines whether you're going to be afraid of investing or whether you're going to wait till the wrong time to invest. This, even post-COVID-19, and even before it, this is actually the best time to buy property because interest rates have been reduced by government. And it's just an aspect of understanding money. When you know your money, then you're able to grow your money. So just to buttress what the other speakers have said, real estate is going nowhere. It's going to be here for a very long time, and it's going to be here forever, actually. So anybody listening, this is the time to buy. Because once post-COVID-19 comes, with the pressure that will come from people losing a lot of money, the whole world has been bleeding jobs. Jobs have been bleeding everywhere. There were people losing their jobs, companies collapsing and things like that. But real estate is still there. So this is the time to buy. And then after now, that value is going to go up definitely. Thank you. Hello.
Oh, thank you so much. I'd like to appreciate the fact that with all the changes in technology and all the changes in the economic sphere of our nation and the whole world, we need to look at the fact that according to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we found out that after food, clothing, and then shelter is the next thing before you go into other areas. I like to say that the real estate industry have been unveiled as a principal area that controls the issue of security and controls even the issue of harmony in the home. A lot of homes have now come to realize that the shelter they have is not adequate. It was adequate because during the normal period, there is hardly a time when the whole occupants of the house are in the house at the same time. So, but now with the COVID-19, people have come to appreciate the fact that there are things that they needed in terms of the capacity or the functionality of the home they are living in. And there are changes in that regard. And what we are beginning to notice down is that people are now beginning to be more particular about the configuration of the houses and the issue of affordability, which has been there before. So post-COVID-19, we found out that there is bound to be an upsurge in demand for houses in some areas of this country. It's not going to happen across all the whole area. We have some problems already in Abuja because of the issue of insurgency. We have problems in Kaduna already that we have fallen oil. Because of insecurity, most people are trying to sell off their assets in some parts of the north and trying to move down south. Therefore, it's not going to be a nationwide thing. What will determine the direction of the real estate business going forward will be a combination of so many factors. Number one is location, vis-a-vis the issue of security. People are now beginning to appreciate the issue of security. Even within towns, I found out from our study under the Nigerian Real Estate Data Collection and Management Program, we discovered that some people are selling their properties that are not located within estates. They now want to move into estates that are secure, gated communities, so that they don't have to suffer all kinds of issues. So there are a number of factors that are now influencing the demand by people for housing, apart from affordability, apart from functionality, apart from other space dimensioning. But we have to look and sit down like any other business. Investing in real estate is a professional issue. For instance, I used to tell people that even ordinary land has about 6 attributes of land. There are some lands that have the economic attribute, the price, the locational attribute, the sociological attribute, the kind of people that live in that community. It has also other attributes of land, the topography. You have other attributes, the legal character of that land. So what most people have thought about is, okay, let us go and invest in real estate. And a lot of them have lost their money, just like in the stock exchange. So my plea with people who want to take advantage of some of the evolving positive impacts of this COVID-19 is to be able to seek professional advice so that they will be guided properly in how to take advantage of the situation. Furthermore, especially those who want to own their own houses, over the years, we have suffered so much as Nigerians by trying to own houses by our own sheer savings. The time has come for us to move into the realm of having mortgages. People have complained that the mortgages are not available, but I like to say the reverse is the case. Post-COVID-19, there's an intervention going on in Federal Mortgage Bank by CBN. There's intervention we're having through Family Homes Fund. There's intervention we're having through Nigerian Mortgage Finance Company. And all this will dovetail in people. You have only 10% or 15% or 20% or 30%. You will now live in your own house and start paying. Now, the beauty of that mortgage is this. If, like we used to have before, the National Treasury bill rate is 12%, and then they give you a loan at 6%. In actual fact, for that money spent, you are making an average net positive gain of 6%. You are paying back at 6%, and you are getting that money, even if you have it saved somewhere at 12%, or even. And so we have to ask ourselves to seek the myriads of people who are living in very terrible conditions, to seek how we can move them over to be interested in creating the proper value chain that will ensure that we'll have appropriate mortgages. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Kofi, for bringing me on board. I would like to say that COVID-19 as pandemic has impacted so much in the entire world, and of course, in the way we live, the way we work, and the way we play. In real estate sector, like others have mentioned, that is a sector that guarantees safety of investment. It is also a sector that ensures or assures you of appreciation in the value of whatever investment you make. I was reading the other day, the National Association of Home Builders in the United States reported that the housing subsector of the real estate sector is already leading in the post-COVID-19 recovery. And that is possible because this is a sector or subsector that affects the life of everyone. Today we have you can actually operate from this or have an office premises with takeaways from COVID-19. And of course, because this is there, we know that the opportunity of investment in the real estate sector. How do I mean? Any investment in the real estate, wide range of job opportunities and those who have lost their job now. Take example of a single site. My friend, and a single site, you could have more than 10 categories of workers or craftsmen working in that particular site. And of course, that will mean opportunity available for people. Now that jobs are lost, if we decide to invest more in the real estate sector, both government, we will rejig and restart a wide range of business opportunities. In the real estate workers, we have the professionals, we have the marketer, we have developers, and of course, of redirecting investment in that sector. Most of these benefiting from the sector. It provides or produces the much needed infrastructure, and the real estate sector is where you have the construction of roads, water, and all that is necessary for good that. So, but we believe that what this has brought to us, people will want to do better if proper advice and professional services are given. Then we talk about facilities, health facilities, and sanitation. Through investment real estate, we will have better the states of the Federation now. Those hospitals that have been abandoned for years, they are providing opportunity now for redevelopment. And I believe that this will continue in the next 2-3 years. Developments will be taking place in such places. But when you talk about the impact in the housing sector, I think we must also begin to look at the housing sector, its subsectors, in terms of the low, the medium, and the high income housing sector. Presently in Nigeria today, what is in huge demand is the low and medium income housing. And that is a prospect for post-COVID-19, that investors should base their investment on the needs or demands that we have in the real demand for low-income housing, demand for medium-income housing is quite high and will continue to remain so, more so that somebody have already analyzed that during the lockdown, a lot of new babies are in the way being made. And of course, those who are younger will get older, and everyone, one way or the other, will be looking for accommodation. So where to go is to direct more investment into the low and medium income housing. And that way, we'll be able to cater for the large majority and also be able to take the advantage of the ever-increasing demand in that sector. Investors in real estate should be able to consider some of these opportunities that are thrown up. And I will also want to say that the opportunity, some of the challenges that must be, overtaken is the issue of having fund availability. There will be definitely limited foreign investment suffered. The real estate sector depended so much in the past from such foreign direct investment into the sector. When you talk of the rail lines that are being built today, you talk of the roads construction that is taking place across the nation. Most of them are funded from outside. With the post-COVID-19 and what has happened, begin to look inward to encourage savings, to encourage joint ventures to invest in the sector. Because the sector holds the highest profitability, durability. We have talked about the sector having capacity. Temi Alade said, buying a piece of land and within a short period, the prices begin to go up. I want to say that that one must study the market and know where to invest at this time. And my recommendation is that the low income and the medium income sector in the housing sector is very, very important. When you talk about commercial properties like shops and warehousing, again, post-COVID-19, through a lot of demand on warehousing and internet trading, where you could be at your home, you make order and people bring to you. Such properties, warehouse, and such facilities for storage will also be in great demand, assuming COVID-19 continues, or even if it lessens, the lifestyle of people, particularly in our part of the world, is beginning to change. People will prefer to stay at home and place their orders and have their time. This time is the issue of in-office development, because most home developers now will definitely begin to in their accommodations, in their homes, such that there is likelihood that from home, because it's the new order, and we are not certain when COVID-19 will be totally eliminated. But from all indication, there is great prospect for real estate sector post-COVID-19 because of its opportunity to give businesses to professionals and to all other sectors that participate in the sector. So there is great hope, there is great opportunity for real estate sector in the post-COVID-19. Thank you.
We can't hear you, Timmy.
She has to unmute herself. Unmute yourself.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Can you unmute yourself?
Okay. Done. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. We can't hear you again.
So it will affect a lot of people who have lost their jobs. But hello,
Go
can you hear
ahead,
me
go
now?
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, a lot of people have lost their jobs, but a lot of people are actually creating.
The network is a bit poor.
Mm.
Our network band is a bit low.
Yeah, Nigeria economy, the whole world is going to be affected with this pandemic. So Nigeria economy will not be exception to the rule, right? But it depends on the ability of the government of the day to be able to see opportunity in this pandemic. Personally, I'm among the class of people that believe that this pandemic or this COVID lockdown is happening for me, not to me, because that's giving me a lot of opportunity to do new things. The same thing happened to a nation too. A nation can see it as opportunity. For example, now we've been complaining this nation for a very long time. And Nigeria as a country imports virtually everything we need. And now nations of the world are shut down. International trading is at halt now. So it's an opportunity for us to reinvent the wheel and start producing those things we can actually produce, but over time we've not been producing them. Okay, this is a wonderful opportunity. Eventually, the economy may rebound back in a wonderful way. In the next few years, as a nation, may be better off than what we have before COVID-19, if only we can seize the opportunity. Less and less people will look into China now to bring material in. Less and less people will look into South Africa and other neighboring countries to bring in fruits, call it foreign fruits, foreign food. This is time for us to be repackaging, canning, and be processing our agricultural produce. So as a nation, depending on how we take it, if we seize the opportunity as a nation, just a matter of months, maybe better off.
Yes. When I speak here, I may be rubbing people a little bit the wrong way, but the truth has to be told. In our DNA, we have work, but not jobs. I advise people, don't look for a job, build a business, because you can build a business from anything, and it's all about money. So now the situation has made us lose jobs. Is either you're going to sit down and let the whole thing crumble on you, or you're going to get up around and then say, what can I do? Now the questions are coming out. Look at even just like what Mr. Ori Martins just said. Look at the health sector. Nigeria is now going to have some of the best hospitals in the world because our richest cadre would not be going abroad to hospitals anymore because of COVID-19. They will be attending hospitals here and making sure that the hospitals become the best ones around. because they are willing to spend money for their safety. So these are the things. When you look at this, then I look at what Boeing is offering, and then I get surprised that will be crying about jobs. Boeing is offering what is called a system. A system means save yourself time, energy, and money. There is production, and at the end of production, there is consumption. Most of us, money moves away from the consumer and always goes to the producer because the producer treats it well. Money hates boredom. If you keep money in a bank and you just keep it there, it will migrate back to the people who use it well and who use it to produce for others to consume. So the key thing there is the products that Boeing Estate is providing within intense security, like the estates. These products, within it, there is a collaborative aspect of it where you can generate a lot of money just by helping market and allowing people to know. We've moved from where you create money by yourself as an individual. Now we're in the world of collaboration. If I tell you that if I introduce somebody to you and you pay me 10,000 naira, and I say, listen, you can bring more people, and I also pay you 10,000, all of them, you will do the same thing. You will do it. So the idea is collaboration with compensation. And these are where the laws come in. When you understand the law of compensation, that is, you are paid in direct proportion to what you do, how good you are at what you do, and how difficult it will be to change you from what you do. So become skillful, learn some skills. That is what COVID-19 has provided for us. You sit at home, don't just sit at home lamenting. Go online, learn skills, develop the skills, look at places to collaborate and make money from the system. So what I'm saying is, don't sit in the box, look in between, and then take money from out of the box. If you look at the FedEx symbol, I'm going to give this as an assignment to everybody. Look at the FedEx symbol. I will tell you something in that FedEx symbol that you've never noticed before, but it has always been there. There is an arrow and there is a teaspoon. But because everybody is so focused on the FedEx symbol, they miss the arrow, which is directional, and the teaspoon, which is your choice. Whether you want to use a teaspoon to take from the ocean of wealth, whether you want to use a bucket, whether you want to use a drum, or whether you want to use a tank. It's all up to you. The world is about choice. The world will compensate you only and strictly for the choices that you make, period. You have to unmute yourself, Kofi. Yeah, you have to unmute yourself.
Kofi, we can't hear you. Kofi, we cannot hear you. Yes, yes. Can hear you now.
Well, definitely, property values will drop from what it used to be. The simple reason is that the scarcity of finance, we have talked about mortgages here today. We know that our nation has the least developed mortgage system in the world. Yes, we hear about these announcements. Access to it is what the challenge has always been. So when there are very few willing to pay for property assets, definitely the tendency is that on the interim, the prices and the values will drop. It's even happening in the rental sector now. A lot of tenants are now negotiating for, discounts or rebates. Those who are paying 1 million naira would like to pay 600 or 500 now. It's a common thing that if you call tenants, they are trying to renegotiate their leases because of lack of funds. Again, when you talk about those who are losing jobs, all those who are losing jobs do occupy real estate. The tendency is that without income coming in, they may not be able to service, whether it's mortgages or whether it's rent payments. They will find it difficult to service. So I see a situation where there will be a decline in value of properties, but the assurance that we draw from previous experiences, like the 2016 recession, before we were on top of 2017, the real estate sector picked up rapidly. I had put an association in the US that the real estate sector is the one leading in recovery from post-COVID in the United States. So there is strong hope that the values will pick up again. But as a school, must be willing to give adequate discounts that will attract payment because of limited funding that is available in the sector right now. I don't know whether you got me.
Yes, you did.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Hello.
It seems Reverend just went off.
He step out. He has a call from the governor of Enugu State. Just send a message to me that I need to attend to urgent call from the governor.
I don't see a total departure from the opportunities that are available for people to invest. For me, the investors in the real estate market are the people that actually have the day now. They have opportunity of buying at lower prices, because what is important in every business is cash. And the ability to get that cash will help you do a number of things. And the opportunity cost too that is available. We strongly believe that the sector will be temporarily facing the issue of decline in value. And of course, will pick up, like I've said, that had happened before in 2016 when there was recession. Real estate sector was one of the first sectors to pick up and then stabilized. But of course, for that to happen, there will be need for employment opportunities for Nigerians. There will also be need for business opportunities for Nigerians. Since we have some form of imperfect mortgage system, some other surveys have said that over 80% of people who build houses or buy houses sometimes buy from their saving or other informal sources of funding. So that means that it is going to be ability to pay that will really determine how much properties that will be bought off during this immediate period of post-COVID-19. But like I said, it is a temporary situation which has capacity to improve. Earlier, you talked about the impact of unemployment. Let me assure you that the nation is already sitting on a keg of, what do they call it, gunpowder, in view of the fact that the population of those who are unemployed in Nigeria is already high. And so it's surprising that a big conglomerate like Access Bank can come out and throw off such number of staff at the same time. So what is the government doing? Is the government and the Ministry of Labor not supposed to intervene and insist that even if you want to reduce staff, you should not go beyond a limit? Because all this impacts in the real estate sector and other sectors of our national economy. So that will also mean that the government will be under pressure now to put investment in areas that will generate alternative employment. And that is where real estate sector is highly favored. Like I've mentioned, that job creation sector is a sector that can boost employment for various categories of individuals. Even when my friend Eliku was talking about going into private businesses. Well, you do business where there is opportunity, and the real estate sector offers very wide range of business opportunities. So the government and the private sector must deliberately start developing, building new homes so that people who need employment or businesses in the sector will have access there. Because the thing is a cyclical process. If people have fund, they will change homes, they will acquire homes, particularly Nigerians. We have great premium for real estate. And so to rejig and restart our economy, the direction of real estate sector should be highly considered in terms of new development, new opportunities. Let the temporary lull in price or decline in value not discourage investors, because definitely the sector will take the first place of bouncing back more than the manufacturing or any other sector of the economy. my view and opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Kofi. For the architectural industry, it's quite a bit of a difference in the sense that we have a standard within the industry, which is we are not allowed to advertise. Okay, your work is supposed to speak for you, but there's been a paradigm shift, not just with post COVID-19, but with social media, bringing up websites and stuff like that. And now with the COVID-19, virtual tours of properties, virtual tours of land, virtual tours of the housing designs that we present to our clients have we've had to rev it up a bit. And if you see, especially with what if you go to the office of Boing, you will see that they have a screen streaming a lot of virtual interiors, showing how it is, even where you're not able to get in there or you're not there yet. So we actually project the end before the beginning. So it's just like it's a creativity act where you see the end from the beginning. And that is more like vision, which is what you do now by reason of what you're seeing in the future. So we show people all those things, 3Ds, construction documents, all those things are done virtually. And then it is the hard copies that are now transferred online to whoever the builders are to execute. But you see, the client himself or herself can already make a decision even before the house is built. So COVID-19 has kept us indoors, has made us to dig deeper, to be able to sharpen those skills, like the president of the surveyors said, we have had to rejig and restart what we used to do and do it in such a way that it's more entertaining and more attractive for people to be able to key in, bring out their money and invest. And like I say, do not wait to buy property. Buy property and wait. That is the advantage you will always get.
Amazing, really amazing indeed. Do not wait to buy a property and wait. Do not wait to buy a property and wait. It's so interesting, architect Lichi, you talked about virtual tours. Who knew that for those who were working with that and working on that would become the new real, the new normal, that you have to take people through your project facility, your site, your land, and give them an impression, a 3D virtual tour of what it is that they are going to see right there. Mr. Martins, I want to come back to you, sir. Because a lot of people watching, especially investors and people who probably want to buy, will be thinking, okay, maybe the whole pandemic hit economy has slowed down construction, projects, the construction sector. Has this pandemic and the lockdown slowed down construction in your estates? Because we're looking at construction as part of the real estate industry. Has it slowed down work?
Oh, thank you, Kofi. In all our estates, both in Abuja and Port Harcourt, we are still working. Okay, we are still working as long as the government regulation allows us to, because we have milestones that we are to deliver to our stakeholders, our subscriber, and we try as much as possible not to allow the COVID-19 or lockdown to affect us, to affect our milestone. Fortunately, the side our projects were located in Port Harcourt are not affected. Most of it were not affected by the lockdown of about a month or thereabout in Port Harcourt. So we are working. In fact, some of our workers need to move their things into the site. They sleep there, they wake up in the morning, resume work, and they close there. So it has not affected, because we also looking at, there are some clients have told us that they are moving into their property by this year. So we just have to do all we could to make sure that we deliver on our promise.
Wow, interesting. Ori Martins. All right, interesting. Reason I asked that is some people have also asked me as well, all these real estate people who come on radio and all that, what is happening? Is this a good time to invest and all that? Are they working? Okay, so do you see, still with you, Mr. Ori Martins, do you see the real estate market, remaining like this, active, or because Mr. Roland talked about the fact that the real estate sector will pick up. It'll pick up. So saying it'll pick up, I'm wondering, does it mean that you're down? With what you just said now also, the fact that construction hasn't going on, do you see the real estate sector slipping further into the recession that is going around? Or you see the real estate sector picking up gradually and even faster than other areas of the economy? Will it slip? And will it sleep?
Mr. Roland quoted an authority from the US that the real estate has already survived the recession that is to come to so many other sectors. I don't see, I mentioned earlier that real estate, like other sectors, will be affected, but the effect on real estate will not be as much as others. We also heard earlier, I think from Mr. Roland too, that when a building project is ongoing, you have not less than 10 skills that will be employed there. So real estate is a number one way of bouncing back, because when construction is ongoing, you have workers coming to the site to work, be able to fend for themselves and for the family. And before you know it, it's a circle. So I don't see real estate suffers as much as so many. And that's why people ask me, where would they want to put their money? Where can they put their money during this COVID-19 lockdown or recession that will follow? I mentioned real estate as number one sector to consider. I also mentioned agriculture, because we won't be able to import so many food into the country. So the local producers need to come up and make sure that they do better than what they've been doing. And of course, the processing unit, processing of this farm produce, will also take a center stage in the few months to come. So I recommend real estate. Real estate has come to stay during this lockdown. Even people that are living under the bridge, they were advised to vacate there and look for a home to be. So the need for home is more than ever before now. A decent accommodation, okay? My president mentioned earlier, Reverend Gochikuchime, talking about estate concept. Kofi, you agree with me that this one I've been promoting for the past 5 or 6 years. Master plan estate, gated environment. It was this lockdown that really helped people to understand what it means to live in a gated estate. A lot of people didn't actually feel the lockdown because they can actually move around their environment, their estate, appreciate the area they live. They can take jog. They can actually see gist with their neighbors. Their children can ride bicycle all around the estate. These are the things we're talking about. And it interests you, Kofi. I got a lot of calls during this lockdown. People that have been talking to before to invest in real estate, and the other sector are badly affected. They are calling us to know the package we have for them to invest in. So I see real estate coming very strong.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ori Martins, for that. Real estate coming very strong. We have a lot of quotes, and I'm sure you're taking your notes for those of you who are watching, and thank you for joining us. This is the mother of all webinars as far as the real estate sector is concerned. COVID-19 effects and projections in the real estate industry. And we have these crack team of panelists and discussants looking into the real estate crystal ball to see what is coming ahead. Temi Alade Mustafa is a fellow Institute of Chartered Economists of Nigeria founder, Temi Alade Mustafa Foundation lead consultant, money mathematician and investors network. She's a money mathematician you've been hearing about. We also have the immediate past president of the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, Reverend Surveyor Ugochukwu Chime. He's also the GMD of Cohen Group. You just listened to a principal partner of Nigerian Real Estate Partners and the CEO of Boing Luxury Estates, Mr. Ori Martins. Earlier, you listened to Estate Surveyor Sir Bonta Roland Ayina. He is the president and chairman of Nigerian National Council, Nigerian Institution of Asset Valuers, Surveyors, Advaluers rather. And of course, you also earlier listened to architect Patrick Elemua, FNIA, past National Public Relations Chairman of the National or Nigerian Institute of Architects, principal partner of Pelican Associates. This is such a wonderful panel. I've learned a lot. My notes are here. I'm still writing more. If you have questions, please don't forget to drop them. We have a few minutes before we say goodbye, and we'll be coming to your questions pretty shortly. Do we still have Reverend on the line? Is he still here in the room? Reverend Surveyor Ugochukwu Chime, is he still here?
No, Reverend is not
okay,
back.
He's still on his meeting. Okay, with the governor.
To take a call.
All right. So I will go. Is Temi still here? Temi, are you still here? Okay. It seems Temi is not here. Okay, Temi is not here. Is Mr. Bonta still here? Okay, I think Mr.
Hello.
Oh, Temi, are you here?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Great. So what's your view on because our panelists have spoken about this already. You are the money mathematician. What's your view on how, folks are, I think we've answered that question already. So what's your view on the real estate industry and the fact that we have opportunities, as talked about by I think it was Surveyor Bonta, who said that there is a gap, there is an opportunity. He said, that there is an opportunity in the low and medium income housing segment. He talked about fund availability through foreign direct investment, and he also said that joint ventures must be encouraged. Now, for those who are listening, we're talking about opportunities to make money from the real estate sector, but it needs investment. You can't make money without investment. And Mr. Bonta talked about availability of funds via FDIs. Where can we get the monies from? These FDIs, how can we access them? Even internally, there are people who might have money, but how can we access the funds to embark on such projects for those who are thinking of something like that? Temi, are you there?
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, please go on.
Okay, so we have a lot of, thank you very much, Kofi. First, I would like to answer the question I was answering before I go. I was, jumped off by the internet. I apologize for that. Okay, so the question was that how will this COVID-19 affect the economy? I would say that it will affect the economy adversely because Every sector has been affected right now. The manufacturing, the health, the education, and all has been affected. But the way out is for us to look inward and develop what we have. As Nigerians, we have to go back to the drawing board and we have to start using what we really have as a nation. We must patronize and consume what we produce locally. And that is the way our economy will start coming up, coming back. We should stop being dependent on if we want to survive. And that is what I want to say about that. Nigeria is a blessed nation with great resources. We should look inward. Ori Martin said something about agriculture. That's a very good way. If we start to consume what we produce as a nation, our economy will be better. Okay, so back to the next question about how people can get funds. We can access funds through, there are a lot of ways that the federal government has given us the opportunity to access funds at a very low rate right now. And so this is an opportunity every Nigerian should try to key into. Go to your banks. If you operate a bank account, go to your bank, ask your relationship officer or your banker what you can gain from this, how you can access facilities that will help you invest more. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Sorry, I need to unmute myself. Apologize.
Hello.
Yes, thank you very
Kofi,
much.
We can't hear you. Kofi.
Thank you very much. Tell me,
Okay.
you said it all, that the opportunities that we can take advantage of, and we don't have to remain like that. We need to go out and look for these opportunities. And in Nigeria, like one of our panelists said, he also agreed with you, that we do have these opportunities, for accessing. Do we have Mr. Bonta back? Mr. Bonta, before I go to the questions from those who are watching right now, you said mortgage. Okay, this was Surveyor Chime who said mortgage is available. But let me still ask Surveyor Bonta, since Reverend Surveyor Chime is not here. Estate Surveyor, sir, Bonta. How can people access a mortgage that government has? We keep hearing about it sometimes, but people are not too sure about how it works. Is this something you can speak on, sir?
Well, Nigerian mortgage system has an Apex Mortgage Bank, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, that now have secondary mortgage institutions called primary mortgage institutions. Actually, individuals are supposed to approach the primary institution and then get enlisted with them, open accounts, and then process the application through them to access the National Housing Fund or other forms of loans that are available within the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Recently, too, we are aware that the federal government, through the CBN, established the Nigerian Mortgage Refinance Company. And of course, that company have started working strongly towards refinancing most of the mortgages already established by the Federal Mortgage Bank through the primary mortgage institutions. My professional body, Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, recently entered into partnership with Nigerian Mortgage Refinance Company for the purpose of creating an online blockchain technology that can give Nigerians easy and free access to issue of mortgage application and mortgage processing. When that blockchain technology for mortgages is properly unveiled or launched, definitely more Nigerians will overcome the hurdles and the bureaucratic processes involved in applying and getting mortgage. But the truth is that
the mortgage institutions of the Federal Mortgage Bank, as it were, do not have sufficient funds home purchasers or those who want to develop their own properties. And the simple reason is the failure in implementation of the National Housing Fund of 1992, which is being reviewed now. That fund made adequate provision for pooling of resources and funding for the mortgage system in Nigeria. It talked about banks making contribution of a particular percentage of their profit. It talked about pension funds investing in the fund, insurance companies, and of course, talked about an average Nigerian that earns income of 3,000 naira per month to contribute a percentage of that income to the National Housing Fund. The National Housing Fund was designed to be a pool of funds that will be available to all Nigerians for issues of taking loans to build, to buy their houses. But that has not worked, simply because the implementation from day one has been very faulty. But a lot of presentations have been made, particularly by my professional body and other stakeholders, that the fund be reviewed and be provided with enforcement power to be able to enforce the provisions of the National Housing Fund Act, so that there will be a pool of resources available for those who want to take mortgage loans. I can assure you that so many Nigerians will want to have access to mortgage loan, but that access is what is not available. Developers have their own approach and their own access in terms of taking development funds. But then an ordinary Nigerian getting access to mortgages, except you pass through the developers and primary mortgage institutions, have been a challenge. But with the new blockchain technology for mortgage processing in Nigeria being put together by the Nigerian Mortgage Refinance Company in collaboration with Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveillance and Valuers, which we are hopeful that will be properly commissioned this year, definitely there will be better access to mortgages, which is mortgage loans, which is the great challenge we have in the sector. Thank you very much.
Wow. So much information there. Thank you, sir. Abonta, for that one. Appreciate it. We'll come back to you in a jiffy, Mr. Abonta, but let's take some questions now. We are interested in the whole blockchain in real estate. Like Boing and Stacey saying on the chat, the future is here. That's a wow moment. Questions here. Let's go to the very top, very, very top, to those who started asking the questions first. I can see from... Okay, this ones are not questions. They're just... Okay, so I'm seeing from Mohammed. I think, is this Mohammed Nuhu? I can't see the full name here. But it says, what is the procedure and the possible PMI in Abuja? I think that should be a real estate term, PMI, in Abuja to approach in order to successfully get housing loan. Is that something you just talked about?
Yeah, it's part of what I talked about.
Okay.
In Abuja, we have ASO Savings and Loans. It's one of the foremost primary mortgage institutions in the city of Abuja. We have other private ones, though I may not have all of them on hand now. But ASO Savings and Loans is the FCT Administration Primary Mortgage Bank, which is readily available and is conspicuously located in various locations. We have also FHA Homes, Federal Housing Authority Homes Limited, which is also a primary mortgage organization that can be approached. But if you ask me, the best approach, like is done in other clients, is for you to consult an estate surveyor and valuer who will help you to package you through to the successful point of getting a loan from these PMIs. PMI is primary mortgage institution, which is what ASO Savings and FHA Homes, which are the federal government primary mortgage institutions. That's what they represent. But I can assure you that a registered estate surveyor and valuer of good standing can help and be of great assistance in processing. So call for your estate surveyor and valuer, just like you call for a doctor when you are in need of medical care. When you are in need of housing, look for an estate surveyor and valuer, and he will be able to put you through.
Interesting.
Thank you for giving me opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Very interesting answer there. I appreciate it. A question here says, this is from Justice Oyekachi, I think. I can't see the full name. He says, in the area of security, how does staying in Boing estates ensure security, especially in the area like University of Port Harcourt? I'm asking because some clients, due to the violence in such areas, prefer not to invest in Lakeview. Ori Martins, over to you. I don't know if Ori Martins is here. Ori Martins, are you here, please?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so did you hear the question?
It is true that it is true that Boing has an estate behind University of Port Harcourt. And in all our estates, there's a master plan estate. What that simply means by saying master plan estate, meaning that before a block can be put in another block, it has been designed and planned that way. Talking about Lakeview Estate behind University of Port Harcourt, this is a place that has been fenced around with access control. If you are not a subscriber or a landlord there, you may not be allowed to access that place. Just last Saturday, I got a call from a subscriber. I want to go into this estate. We are still constructing. And the security at the gate prevented her. She has to call me, but I have to call somebody for the security to allow her access. Okay? What that simply means that we put security at our top priority. We are still under construction now. We put such security in place. And another thing is, before we site estate in a particular location, we do our visibility studies. We make sure it's a location that is viable, location that we can do our strategy to make sure that the subscriber, the landlord, will be saved, secure, and of course their investment will also be safe. And most of our estate will guarantee return in investment. And this estate you're talking about, the person asked about, that's why we are having our Boing luxury apartment. There's other construction now. The first of its kind in that part of the world, in the part of the country, south. We are building about 308 units of luxury apartments. The first block is almost completed now, and people are subscribing. We give people opportunity to buy units from this apartment. So it's not going to talk about security. That place is going to be very, very secure. We have already a police station space there that will commence construction. So we're having our resident armed security men. These are some of the things we put down. We're going to deploy ICT in the area of security. Modern security devices will be deployed into this estate. So security is of concern to us. Wow.
Thank you. Ori Martins, please stay with us because we have another question, and it's specifically addressed to you by Uche Anu Niru. He says, I listen sometimes to your radio program. Does Boing Estates offer monthly instrumental payments like some other real estate companies? I ask because most of Boing Estates offers require a large initial deposit and requires balance to be paid off within a year. And this is quite challenging for middle and low income earners. Over to Ori Martins.
Yes, if we can give people a year to pay for a master plan, a piece of property, a service plot in our estate is a lot of people on this program and as affordable. So many people have benefited from this. But the truth of the matter is, my president mentioned earlier, Reverend Ugochukwu Chime, that when it comes to real estate, location is key. So for you to get
Hi, Ori Martins, are you there? Okay.
I think we lost him briefly.
Yeah, can you hear us, Ori Martins? Okay, I think the network has played a fast one. Oh, can you come to me while he tries to get back?
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So, an interesting one there. Talking
some
about.
people say it's too
Ori Martins, are you
expensive, but
back?
think about it, Kofi.
It's back.
Compared to when you have to go and buy property somewhere far inside for the next 10 years, you are not sure of development, getting to such location. You may eventually lose your money or lose such property. Because here we are talking about service plot. By service plot, we mean that we want to provide light, water, roads, and all modern to you to live a meaningful life. So anybody come in there, pay a little above what other people are offering. And we are not really ashamed to say, because location matters. And when you buy into such place, you buy into a community. Okay, you know, you're alone, you buy into community.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
Ori Martins. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, we lost you along the line, but great to know you quickly came back. Thank you very much. So, Boing Estates is the best place to do business as far as real estate is concerned, and of course, they have a package for everyone, like Ori Martins has just said, you know, and for those who are middle income earners, high income earners, you can do business with them. But Ori Martins, I think the luxury in your name has should indicate something to this person who's asking this question. I don't know if I'm right. But let me move to another question. Aya Wanjala, thank you very much for your message. Aya has about 3 questions. My God. Aya says, I'm assuming I want to be a real estate investor. Is it better to buy a property and sell after a while, or buy, build, and rent out to generate income, as you always say, cash flow? From that, what are the benefits and disadvantages of the two? That's a handful. Her second question is, okay, I think I'll ask the first one. Ori Martins, do you want to respond to this?
Kofi, we appreciate if the president of Estate Value and Dr. answer that.
Okay, so
can we allow the estates? Yes.
All right, so let's go back to estate surveyor Abonta, sir. What are the advantages and disadvantages of either buying, and selling after a while, or buying, building, and renting?
Thank you very much, Kofi. The 2 options are the key investment options in real estate sector. For those who develop to retain the investment and generate monthly annual income from such estate are people who will be patient, because real estate investment takes a long time to recoup. Even though it is an investment that appreciates in value, but it takes some time before you'll be able to recoup the invested capital. So it depends on the source of your funding, the kind of credit arrangement you have. If you have a credit arrangement that is short tenured, of course, it will not be wise and it will not be feasible for you to go and build and begin to wait to take the income instrumentally. the best you can do, which is what most developers do, is to build and sell with a markup of whatever profit or service cost that is convenient and acceptable to you and also acceptable to the buyer. Those who have their savings, have their money, sources, they can actually receive annual payments in terms of rent and such, so as to retain that property in their portfolio for a while. And of course, nothing stops them at any other point in future in offloading whatever they have invested in. So this is the slight difference in the two. It depends on the source of your funding and what you want to do. Some people want to buy, sell, trade on properties. And it works. There is always reasonable margin of profit that comes with that. But also for those who retain, there is joy of answering a landlord and of course of having the opportunity still to sell, because what you retain would definitely appreciate in value over the period of time. I don't know whether I've been able to answer that question. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Absolutely. Thank you very much, sir, for that. The second question, we have to really go quickly because we're out of time. But thank you for that answer. The second question is by still Anyanwu Angela, who says, as the level of uncertainty in the economy is high due to the pandemic, do your clients expect a price slash or some flexibility in your prices? And is there any economic updates and some thoughts on what a new normal might be, which may help them come out of the pandemic? I think we answered that in part. But Ori Martins, you want to respond to this? Should your clients expect a price slash?
Yes, Kofi, if there is anything I learned during this lockdown, is that people don't really need much cash. People don't really need much money. Keeping much cash in your account, bank account, or at home will not help. What you rather need is cash flow. We recognize this as a company, and what we are doing presently is to give people opportunity to have a property that can generate cash flow. For example, starting from Monday, 2 days' time, 1st of June to the end of June, we are giving all our subscribers an opportunity to own a property that can generate cash flow for them. We are doing 30% off of our landed property, service plots in our estate, both in Port Harcourt and Abuja here. 30% off of our property, because we want people are afraid. They don't know where to put their money. And they have the money in the bank, and the money they have in the bank keep on reducing in value. When I'm encouraging them to put the money in property that can give them appreciation and generate cash flow. 30% off of anybody that is buy any property from us between now and end of the month of June. Not only that, you must not pay everything at once. You also allow to spread the payment for a period of 12 months, if that is convenient for you.
That's good.
Interesting, very interesting indeed. Very, very good developments coming from Boing Luxury Estates, if you ask me, and I think you are setting the pace. I can see Estates of Roland Abonta, he's also clapping in agreement, nodding in agreement. Very interesting indeed. Angela, because of time, we can't answer all your questions. I think the third one you've asked is very important, but I'm sure that you can have a one-on-one with Boing Luxury Estates, since you have a direct contact. As you're saying, you are a client at Lakeview Estate, so that's great. So I'm sure that they can answer that. Because of time, we want to move on and say our goodbyes. Well, Angela, I can see more questions from you. Okay, so we have to move on. Wow. I think that's the last we have. Do we have more questions? Okay. Ugo Chuku Peters says, how can those who don't have basic 9-to-5 jobs access loans? I don't know who can answer that. Should I come to Estate Surveyor Roland? How can those without basic 9-to-5 jobs access loans? Is Temi still there? those who don't have a basic 9-to-5 job? Okay, let me bring Temi in at this point. Please unmute Temi, I think. Yes.
Finance question.
Yeah, Temi, are you there? Ugo, please unmute her so she can. How can those without 9-to-5 jobs access loans? Thank you, Temi.
Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear. Please go on.
Okay. So how can those without 9-to-5 jobs access loan? Is that the question?
Absolutely.
Hello?
Yes, absolutely. That's the question. That's the question.
Okay,
Yes.
It depends on what such person is into. Are you into business? What kind of loan do you want to access and all?
Okay.
That is very, very important for me to answer this question. If you have a business, of course, you need to get your business registered. And then when you've registered your business, you have an account and a lot of loans that you can access now, depending on the sector that you are in. We have health sector loan, we have agric loan, we have mortgage loan, we have a lot of loans. But you need to have a relationship with a bank. Even if you are getting a loan from the Bank of Industry, you'll still be asked to get a personal guarantee from your bank. So to access loan, you need to have a relationship with a bank so that you will be able to, because we need your track record, what you have done, what you can do, and how can you pay back. In granting loan, banks look at if you have the capability to pay back the loan. And so if you don't have anything you are doing right now, you may not be able to access loan because we need to understand how you will be able to pay back the loan so that even at the end, it won't be an issue for you. I hope I've answered the question. But if not, if there's another question, please ask and then I'll respond to that.
Thank you very much, Temi. Very, very interesting and excellent answer there. Appreciate it. Okay, we have to go. We have to let our guests go. But someone is asking, Okrode John says, based on what Sir Roland just said on mortgage, what is Boeing doing to assist those who will need loans? I don't know if that is Boeing's mission. That is part of your mission statement. But Sir Roland, do real estate companies assist people in getting housing loans?
Yes, answer, Kofi.
By way of collaboration with the PMIs, yes.
Okay. Ori Martins, what do you say to this?
Yes, it does. And before you can access such loan, Mr. Roland mentioned earlier, you need to be a contributor. You need to open an account with Federal Mortgage Bank, and you must have contributed for not less than 6 months. When you contributed not less than 6 months, you can now approach your bank that you want to buy a property, must have identified a property, and depending on your income, you'll be assessed. You can assess loan between 5 and 15 million naira. And this loan can only be assessed once in your lifetime. So it's possible. I also need to depend on the property. The property must have the right and genuine title before the bank can listen to it, in addition to all other conditions.
Okay, thank you very much.
Spell out to you. And as a real estate company, we can package our subscriber to access this loan, but the subscriber must have been a contributor to Federal Housing Fund for not less than 6 months.
Oh, I see. Interesting. All right, Martins, thanks for that answer. Barry Ledum is asking, how can somebody who earns 15,000 naira a month invest in real estate business? How can someone who earns 15,000 naira a month invest in real estate business? I'm thinking off the top of my head, that they should try and see how they can become an estate consultant or agent with Boing Estates and make money. That 15,000 naira you're earning a month can easily become 150,000 naira, even $1 million naira a month if you sign up to Boing Estates a partnership program. Mr. Martins, am I correct?
You're right, Kofi.
Just tell us about this opportunity.
In addition to that, if you're earning as low as that, I would advise you to invest in yourself first. Develop yourself. Don't go and be saving 5,000 naira every month. You may have to save for the next 10 years before that money can make military. Rather, invest in yourself so that you can be able to make much more money than that 15,000 you are making per month now.
Okay. And Baraledum, I hope you got that. Okay, someone is asking, I think for all the questions for Boing Estates, the channels, the private channels to reach Boing are still open because of time. You can reach them directly. For those who are listening and want to get across to Boing Luxury Estates, Mr. Martins, how can they do that? Because we can't take all the questions right now. The direct questions for you.
Okay. Our website remain www.boingestates.com. Boing spelled B-O-I-N-G, estate with an S.com. And our email address is askme@boingestates. So if you send a mail to us at askme@boingestates.com, within the hour, you get a reply to your mail. And we're also available on social media platforms. Our website I've mentioned, boingestate.com, on Instagram, Facebook, remain Boing Estates. Boing Estate. And if you also want to join me on my personal social media handle, my social media remain Ori Martins on Instagram and Facebook. I'm very active on Instagram and Facebook, ORY Martins, Ori Martins, one word. These are the areas you can get back to. I also have phone numbers of my colleague that want to talk to you if you want to make more inquiry on how you can be subscriber, how you want to partner with us to be those of people that mention our property to other people, and when they buy, you will be rewarded handsomely. Our numbers remain 090-555-22239. I expect, please, Ugo, can you just upload those numbers, your number and other of your colleagues, so that the people that can pick up the number there and call them. Our website, once again, is www.boingestates.com. Yes, Ugo had just sent his number now, so you can get him. That's one of our office number and other number that he's going to send. So you can get in touch with us then.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jerry Martins. Temi, the last question before from those who are watching online. We have questions from Facebook. We have those watching on YouTube. This link is also shared on Twitter with a followership of thousands of people. Someone is asking, what are the collateral required for the loans you talked about? What collateral is needed for the loans you talked about? Temi, are you there, please?
Okay, so depending on the loan you want to apply for, the most important collateral is legal mortgage, and that's why real estate is important. If you have legal mortgage, it will help you to apply for your loan seamlessly. And if you are applying for a business loan, you may not need legal mortgage if you have a track record and your statement of account is a good one, such that we know that you are into business, and then your turnover is okay for you to assess the kind of loan and the amount that you need. I hope I've been able to answer that question. But mostly, the bank will request for legal mortgage. That is a document for a property that you own. But if it is like a trading loan, the bank may actually ask for your statement of account so that they will know that you're actually doing the business, and then you have the ability to pay back with the cash flow in your account, with the turnover on your account.
Interesting.
I don't know if I can quickly add something to that.
Yes, please. Ori Martins, please go on.
So if you are taking a loan with mortgage bank, all you just need, the property you want to buy is the collateral. The bank will have the original document with them until you finish paying back before you can get that. So you don't need to go and look for extra collateral elsewhere when it comes to mortgage.
Thank you very much, Ori Martins.
Yes, okay.
No problem.
Yes, that's correct.
Interesting. Okay. We want to thank all of those who've been watching live online, live as a live stream on Twitter, on YouTube at youtube.com/coffeepitels, on Facebook at For Coffee on Air. I'd like to say thank you to Chukwama, Gosson Wabagi, Iwejo Williams, Ekpene Umo, who says the program is interesting, and Kelvin Omoluko, who's asking if this is on Nigeria Info, because my page is almost a radio station. Thank you very much. Maybe next time we go live on Nigeria Info, it's very possible to take this live on air. Okay. Wow. Let's round up with final questions and points from our panelists. I wish Reverend was back. He's not back, but he's attending to matters of state, as they say. Sir Roland, as incumbent president and chairman of the National Council of the Nigerian Institute of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, or Estate Valuers and Surveyors, what is your advice for the Nigerian government in these times, sir?
Well, I will repeat part of the suggestions I had earlier made as a way forward for post-COVID-19. Before now, the real estate sector have not been given its place of importance in the scheme of things in our nation. But I want to say that as a sector that have capacity to reinvigorate our national economy, it is right now that the federal government of Nigeria, by God's grace, the oil prices are beginning to pick up small and gradually. Definitely we will get there. God loves this country so much. I know that we will get there beyond even the budgeted crude price for our nation. So income will come in area of excess crude, in area of other savings. I want to say that the federal government should pay serious attention to the real estate sector because of its capacity to generate employment, its capacity to retain value of investment, and its capacity to give opportunity to different business groups in the country. When this is done, we will have once more a Nigerian vibrant economy where all of us will be happy for, and then it will definitely affect other sectors of our national economy. But where to start is the real estate sector. Let's pay attention to it and get it working and properly working again. It will help to reinvigorate other sectors of our economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very good advice for the government. I hope that they will be led to do the things you've talked about, because we have all the opportunities, facilities, the brains, the intellectual capacity, and the people to achieve and actualize these. To all the facilitators, I'm starting with Architect Eliku. What's your advice for corporate organizations operating in your field, and also individuals as well operating in your field? Architect Patrick Eliku, please.
Well, my advice is for them to, everybody should continue to invest in themselves, invest in their organizations, step up. As far as we recognize what is going on around us, when we even talk of the agricultural industry, the agricultural industry is an industry that is nested in real estate. And then even in real estate, we have construction. And construction is the highest employer of labor anywhere in the world. So I will continue to encourage my colleagues that we should continue to improve ourselves, find better and cheaper ways for people to have access to property, and have good habitat, over their heads. So that's the advice. We continue to look inwards, look at our materials, look for cheaper ways, so people who are earning 15,000 a month can also find ways to own their own properties. But like I say, it's not about money, it's about how resourceful you are. There are systems out there, you key into the systems. Boing is offering a very lucrative system, which you just register with 50,000 and then you go out there and create your own magic. And before you know it, you'll be able to make a whole lot more money. But for the professionals in the industry, we have to continue to collaborate, work together for the better of the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Architect Eliku. I'd like to go over to the next discussant today, Temi Alade Mustafa. What is your advice for corporate organizations and individuals operating in the real estate industry and also in your field in particular as well? What can you say to them? Do we have Temi?
Yeah, she's here. She also submit herself.
Temi, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Did you get the question, please?
Yes, you said you asked that what is my advice, right?
Yes, to organizations, corporate organizations, and individuals operating in your field, and also individuals as well.
Okay, so the COVID has taught us a great lesson, and so I want to advise that we take the lesson that we have learned. We set our financial goals as individuals and as corporate organizations. Then we try to invest more in viable business, invest in real estate because it is important. Then we have to focus on what is the way forward and not focus on what we have lost or or maybe the fear of the future. What we have to do right now is to be focused, set a goal, try to pursue it, and then invest in yourself. Two out of the speakers that have spoken before me have said this. Invest in yourself. Investment in yourself gives you 100% returns, and that in turn you will be able to do well in any business you are going into. And so I think you should invest in viable businesses too. So what I will say is that take the lesson from COVID-19, be creative, set your goals, invest in viable businesses. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Teni. I will go over to Estate Surveyor, Sir Abonta Roland, sir. Your advice for corporate organizations and individuals operating in your field.
Well, I like to say that the estate surveyors and valuers, if you like, we have a godly heritage. Because our profession is one of the stated in the Bible that we should go and manage the land. I want to say that I join other speakers to talk about professional development, understanding and acquiring new skills that is conversant with the present world will be of advantage to all estate surveyors and valuers and all estate firms, such that with technology, all those processes in the past that involve some physical appearances can be reduced to sending or disposing technology to help you do them. Things like inspection, things like showing up of sites of buildings and such products of real estate. I want to ask my colleagues and the estate firms they operate to get updated and equipped for the challenges that are ahead. And also I want to assure them that if one maintains a high level of standard, a high level of ethical practice, definitely you will have clients come to you and your business will prosper. The lull now is a temporary one, but definitely, like I kept repeating throughout this meeting, it will soon bounce back to full-fledged business as it used to be. So I want to encourage my members to be patient and to be innovative, also to invest in themselves in acquiring new skills that will be required post-COVID-19 practice of estate surveying and valuation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Architect Patrick, have we taken your final comments yet? I'm not sure if we haven't. Then I'll come over to you, sir.
Okay, yes, you've taken my final comments.
Okay.
I talked about collaboration of all the professionals in the built industry, putting our heads together, looking at local materials, just like you see how we're doing in Boing Estate, using the hydrophone blocks pretty much to that's control weather, and it's practically the best material, our soil, that God has given to us. So high pressurized bricks, which is a part of green building,
enough for that,
keeping
okay, so do about for everyone.
A lot of the emissions out, the cement and stuff like that. So when we look at all these things, we're able to create and produce cheaper buildings for people, subscribers, to be able to own their own property, because owning a property, just like the Americans call it the American dream, we also have to call ours the Nigerian dream. So that's what I have to offer.
There you go. There he goes. Interesting. I warned you all. Ms. Sorry Martins, over to you. Your final words to those in your industry, and indeed organizations and individuals in your industry. Hello, Ori Martins, are you there?
Okay. Yes, I'm here, Kofi. It's very simple. If during this lockdown you have a business and the lockdown prevents you from transacting or making money, meaning that it's time for you to rethink your business. If during this lockdown you are unable to reach your client or your customer, you are able to provide the needed service to them, it's time for you to ask yourself very fundamental question as a corporate organization. And as an individual, during this lockdown, you sit at home, you use the normal monthly data plan, the weekly data plan, and daily data plan, and you could not make money. While at home, you need to really ask yourself very fundamental question. Kofi, I'll tell you that during this lockdown, I've been having a radio program with you, Nigeria Info, for the past 5 years.
Yes.
Just March here, we mark the 5th anniversary of the radio program. During this lockdown, though I was locked down in Abuja, but I was able to, through the help of you and your crew, we were able to transmit live to our audience in Port Harcourt. There was no day we could not reach our audience through this radio program as a result of lockdown. So, and in fact, in one of our radio programs, we have the highest listener ever, because people are locked down at home. They are able to listen to the radio program. They pay up attention. If one of my colleagues got about 27 calls just in one radio program, 27 calls. Before now, we get 5, 6, maybe 9. So what I'm saying is, if you are doing business and you feel that a lockdown should come tomorrow, is threatening your business, try to think in another way. There was this thing that happened some years ago when Bill Gates, the owner of Microsoft, was taken to court by American government for dominating the software industry in America. And he came out from the law court. I remember I was still in school then. That small business either brace up or die natural deaths. You better increase the pace, your service level, adapt to the new normal, otherwise your business will fade away. As an individual, if you don't invest in yourself now, don't be in tune with the new normal, you will also become obsolete in no time. That is my submission, Kofi.
Interesting. As you were talking about the fact that you were locked down in Abuja, and you were, you did your program from there. I also recorded you from my dining hall, my dining table in Port Harcourt. It's quite interesting. And as all of you have been talking about this, a lot of sparks are flying through my head. Very important, you said, if the lockdown is stopping you from doing your business or working, then you need to start asking yourself some questions. Amazing, amazing. I think we've taken the final thoughts from everyone. Once again, if you'd like to reach out to Boeing Luxury Estates, you can simply, first of all, go to the social media. You can go to the website, ask me at boingestates.com. For those who are online watching on social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you can see the 3D animation of Boeing Estates playing on the screen right now. This is real, it's true, and Boeing Estates is here to stay. They're not running away like those. Because of my years of experience, I interview a lot of real estate companies, and you have those who run away, those who are in police custody right now. But Boeing Estate is not running away. They've been here for 5 years, and I'm sure they're here to stay. So please reach out to Boeing Estates by going to their website, www.boingestates.com. Boeing spelled Boing, estates with an S at the end.com. Ask me at boingestates.com is the email address. Ask me at boingestates.com is the email address. You can also follow Boeing on Facebook at Boeing Luxury Estates. Boeing Luxury Estates. If you want to check out Instagram, you can check for Boeing Estates on Instagram and Twitter. Ori Martin's handle is on Instagram is Ori-Martins. I hope I got that right. Ori Martins.
Just Ori Martins. Ori Martins.
Ori
One
Martins.
word. Ori Martins.
Right, on Twitter, ORYMARTINS. You want to give Boeing Luxury Estates a
And
call.
if anybody follow me now on Instagram, I'll follow you immediately, please. If you are there, if you can follow me, Ori Martins, I'll follow you immediately, please.
Fantastic. You can also give a Boeing Luxury Estates a call on the number 090-9000-1953. Did I get that right? 090-9000-1953. You also can call them on 090-555-22232, 090-555-22233, 090-555-22234, and 090-555-22235. If you'd like to watch a replay of this and also share it on YouTube or Facebook, please go to youtube.com/Kofi Bartels, youtube.com/Kofi Bartels. On Facebook, you can also go to facebook.com/Kofi on air. Kofi spelled Kofi, facebook.com/Kofi on air. I want to thank all of you for your time. It's been a wonderful and thought-provoking session. My notes are piling up here. And I'll go back and listen to what you all said so that I can digest and consume it again on Facebook. I'll do that in coming days. Thank you very much. My name is Kofi Patel. I'm an honor personality. It's been a privilege hosting this for you. I hand you back to the dependable screen, not hands now, screen of Mr. Ugo Peters of Boeing Luxury Estates. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kofi Bartels. I want to especially thank Boeing Estates for Boeing Estates, Copen Group, and Ronald Abunta and Co. for sponsoring this webinar. It's been an amazing one. We've had several feedback from our listeners and people that are watching. I will say, watch out for Boeing Estates. Watch out for such webinars. We'll be sending out links for such webinars in the days to come. Thank you for. I also want to extend my gratitude to the discussants, Estate Surveyor Abunta, Roland, and Inaya for staying with us from the beginning of the program to now. So we appreciate your time. We know how busy you are. We thank you for staying with us here. Architect Patrick Eliku, who has always been by us. More grease to your elbow, sir. Mr. Ori Martins, the CEO of Boeing Luxury Estate, thank you so much, sir, for making our time out. I know how busy you are. In fact, you were on site today, and despite the whole stress on site, you still were able to make this. Thank you so much. I also want to especially thank Ms. Temi Alade Mustafa. Thank you so much. Despite the fact that Nigeria Network really impacted on your delivery, you were still able to give your 2 cents into this program. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And we're going to be having more of this. From what I can see, we're having several calls that we should do this again. And I hope if we call on you next time, you honor us. Thank you so much once again, and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, you! Yes, you. With all that's happening in our economy today, what's the safest and most profitable place to keep your money? The bank? Wrong answer. I'll give you a clue. In this pandemic-hit economy, who are those who are still smiling? You don't know? Land and property owners. Yes, even with the lockdown, people still pay rent and people still collect rent. You can be on the side of those who are collecting rent by taking advantage of a whopping 30% discount on all landed property of Boing Luxury Estates in Abuja, Asokoro Rock Villa, Apo Rock Villa, and Spring Resort. In Port Harcourt, Boing Lakeview, Lakeview Estates, and Wood Park Estates. This offer is valid till 30th June 2020. Hurry now and save millions!